Okay, let's call the meeting to order. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call. Supervisor Coyer?
Here.
Councilman Barber?
Here.
Councilman Carter?
Here.
Councilman Talaski is absent. Councilman Bear?
Yes.
All right. I need a motion to accept the minutes from our January 24th regular town board meeting.
I will go ahead and make that motion to accept the minutes from the January 24th, 2024 regular town board meeting.
I'll second it.
Any more discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Okay, our financial report, you see it there. Interest as of the end of January was $99,101.
Very good.
Okay. Nobody scheduled to address the board. Is there any public comment? Okay. We're going to move this along so people can get home before the ice hits. Let's see. Resolutions. Motion to approve the February bills. I'll read them into the record. General fund, $20,061.94. Nothing in Parktown B fund. Highway, $14,531.51. Capital, $3,075. Line Mountain Lights, $1,030.88. Dannemora EMS, $335,540.48. Obviously, that's their annual fee. Line Mountain Sewer, $3,742.14. Dannemora Sewer, $539.59. Line Mountain Water, $28,048.48. Our water main break did that. Dannemora Water, $803.96. Ledger's Water District, $3,383.23. Trust and Agency, $3,166.91 for a total of $413,924.12.
I'll go ahead and make a motion to approve the February 2024 monthly expense bills of $413,924.12.
Second.
Any more discussion? Roll call. Jim?
Yes.
Jason?
Yes.
Joey?
Yep.
Deb?
Yes. Okay, next thing we have to do is the fair housing resolution. This is just a document that Friends of the North Country needed to wrap up the project with the state. And so the resolution reads, at a regular meeting of the town board, let me skip through all that. Whereas the Fair Housing Act's affirmatively furthering fair housing mandate across the nations is to addressing inequities and others that cause unequal and segregated access to housing and platform. It provides for a better life, and the rule is intended to foster local commitment to fair housing. So a motion was made by somebody, seconded by somebody, to continuously put forth good faith efforts affirming fair housing. Basically, it's saying that the town of Dannemora agrees with the fair housing regulations. So if I get a motion and a second on that.
I'll make a motion to approve the resolution for the town board of the town of Dannemora.
I'll second.
Any more discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Okay. Old business, the surplus property update. Well, we didn't get any bids on the metal stovepipe yet, so we're, I suggest we just store it until, for a couple of months till building season, and we might get some bids then. It's not in the way, it's being stored, it's not getting damaged, so if that's okay with everyone, that's what we'll do with that. The Hometown Hero banner update, we were checking on a different venue for getting those, and they would be a little bit more costly unless we ordered bulk. So I talked with Tom Lorman yesterday and today, and asked him if they could procure a better material to put that on, and we had a long discussion back and forth. He is ordering some fabric that's thicker, and he doesn't know if his machines, if it can handle running through it. That's the only issue. So he's ordered as thick as he can get through his machine. He's gonna do a couple samples and give that to us. I would prefer to go with the local vendor, and if he can give us something that's a little bit stronger, and I also sent him pictures of the one that we were looking at, showed that it was double stitched and whatnot. So I don't know, and I also told him where that came from. Maybe he'll reach out to them, see what kind of a deal he can get. So we're going to leave it in local hands for now. We haven't gotten any requests yet this year. So that's the update on that. The Dannemora Water District, as you all know, they had a frozen line on Valentine's Day, and Jim basically honchoed that. You want to tell them a little bit about that?
Yeah, it was second time this year. Lack of the tenants letting their water run inside the home. We can't mandate that people let their water run, but with the extreme situation with a brook running through there, those lines are core drilled underneath the brook, and that's where it's freezing every time. 130 feet from the resident's basement now. That was dug up again. Leary's were called in. They unthawed the line immediately and buried it back in. Myself and Robbie Tripp went down the basement. Did turn the water on a hose and let it run to a sump pump in there. And verified that the tenants would let their water run again also, but it's still, that's not the fix. We have to look in farther into either re-drilling that underneath the brook or another situation.
I did hear back from DEC because I reached out to them because we're dealing with a brook. You know how they are with water.
Mm-hmm.
And they did come back to me and say that brook was not one that they care about. It's just runoff. It's not a trout brook. So we don't have any issues with DEC working around that brook. I also did, I talked to Matt Fabro, and I had written a letter to the owner of that property saying, you've been informed of this and that, and the next time that it freezes, it's going to be on you. So hopefully he's calling his tenant today because it's going to drop in temperature, and reminding him.
Well, if nobody goes in that basement, it was running when we left on the hose, so.
How long has that line been in there?
15 was the last time that it froze.
I mean, that's just strange how it's,
Well, I think-
twice this year, we haven't even had that.
I think it's no snow, and the wind that howls blows through that 3-foot culvert.
And it
Well,
sometimes don't get really
Plus we had all
sun.
that flooding, and it washed some of that brook
Yeah,
a little bit deep,
That's
closer to the
pretty good
pipe.
through there.
So, we'll do something this summer, but, we can't,
Keep adding cost to it. I agree.
and in the meantime, Liz Tedford said there's plenty of grants out there to, for fixing water lines and whatnot, so, as we get a little closer to, the time frame when we can actually work on it.
So did you send the letter registered?
No.
No?
No, I didn't.
Okay.
It didn't come back though, so
Okay.
I sent it to him, and I'll probably send him a text when I leave for him to make sure. But his tenants claim that they had it running, but running water doesn't freeze. So.
No.
Anyway, that's the update on that district. Wilfred King Road speed study. So finally, we get something back from them. They did do the speed study, and they did not see a need to change the speed limit on the first 2 miles of the Wilfred King Road. So if you go 2 miles down, it gets you about 100 feet probably before you get to the curve near the pump house. And at that point, they want it to be 35 miles per hour from that point to the end of the road. And they wanted us to look at signage and something to warn about that curve and whatnot. So I've contacted Clinton County Highway, and actually Mark Allen called me this afternoon, and he wants to come out tomorrow to take a look
Okay.
at that spot. And I told him that I'd let you know, and that once they're done sanding or whatever they're going to have to do in the morning, that to give Alan a call, and he'll meet you guys out there and to show him exactly what we're looking at doing. Because we're going to put a guardrail around where the old, hate to call it that, but where the old boat launch was. We're going to have a guardrail in front of that, because if somebody goes around that curve and they miss it, that's where they'd be going, is down in that hole. So put a guardrail up there.
There's a 15-mile-an-hour warning sign just before that curve.
Mhm.
Yep.
That lets you know that.
Yep.
40 past the
That's
park,
the orange sign.
that's what they're gonna use.
Yeah.
It's not mandatory, yellow.
Yeah,
It's not mandatory, it's just.
That's a suggested speed.
yeah,
Yeah, but we'll be putting a white 35
after that.
there in that same area.
Okay.
They said 2 miles down, so,
We're gonna leave it 40 miles per hour past the playground?
yeah, he said there was no reason to not, they said 40 miles an hour was
And then
appropriate for the first 2 miles.
just pass it and down to 35 the rest of the road?
No, it's right before the pump house, it becomes 35.
Oh, down that far.
Yeah, yep, the first 2 miles of it, which brings you right down to near Lorraine Seni's,
What's that one?
and then
One
the rest of it's supposed
So
to be
before you
35.
even through the playground part area, it's not gonna drop and then go back up, it's gonna stay 40 all the way straight down to.
It's going to be 40 all the way, the first 2 miles of it. And they want additional signage, and so,
I'll talk with Al tomorrow and see what he wants.
yeah, he wants to come out and look to see exactly what, and that way he can see exactly what materials he needs and how much, and that way he can give us a price too.
Can we take the blind man sign now?
Yeah, that's,
I did that one.
no, you didn't do it. You put something,
Oh, I put something underneath of that. I can't remember what it was.
yeah. Yeah, you put the tractor sign up above it or something.
Oh, yeah, I did something down there.
Yeah, that should.
Yeah, we can do that.
That was requested before.
The school bus is still good going down there, they didn't change any of that, right?
Nope, the school bus still goes down there, so far. So, anyway, that's what was mandated by the state. So,
Okay.
when there's complaints about the speed limit, the speed limit is fine, it's the speeders that you need to stop. So, oh, I should go, oh crap, I can't do that. Stop that. Okay. Was there anything else for,
I have one thing for old business. I went up to the Ruling for Recovery fishing derby this weekend. Man, they had a hell of a turnout. Over 300 people on both lakes combined. And people I talked to said it was very well ran. So I'll tell you, some of the prizes they give out for the fish are quite nice. I was going to go for the dinner, which was roast beef, $10. Probably can't beat the price, and I couldn't even get near the damn place. The cars were all the way down the hill, all the way to the church, on both sides of the road. I couldn't get near. That's okay. Microwave tonight.
you have options,
Eventually, you just gotta get there, really.
Yeah, I will.
Oh, I didn't want to do that. Okay. I messed up. And I can't go from there, I got to. Play amongst yourselves.
That's the second time I've coughed since I've been here.
Oh.
Not paying attention.
You had now? All right, new business. Line Mountain Water District update. Well, we all know that there was a water main break on the 7th, and we emptied about 2/3 of the water tank before got it shut off. So they came and fixed it the next day. They were there 2 days, and it's fixed now. They took the piece of pipe that was split, and they're supposed to be sending it. I think Ed Garrow was going to send it out to find out, because he said he'd never seen a pipe split that way.
Not that straight,
So,
not that straight. I was like, I got the seam.
yeah, so. But amazingly, there was no water in that basement. That was just amazing.
Well, I got some
There's plenty
lumber and
around.
stuff from next door and put it down and diverted it different ways and whatnot. And
Yeah, fire department did a wonderful job that night.
we got Garrels, they cleaned up, the best they could, and I told them to be back in the spring for some black dirt and
Yeah.
fix up the rest of the mess.
Didn't have to do much digging, because that water dug that hole out pretty easily.
That's all we're saying, is just flushed it out. But
Yeah.
right in the front lawn, and then on the other side of the driveway, I'll have to do some topsoil in there too, the roots of the trees and got down in the driveway, so I cleaned it up the best I could.
Yeah, we told them, in the spring, we'll get the sweeper out there, and we'll get some of that ore sand off the lawn.
Well, we got actually quite a bit of it off.
Yeah, it looked pretty good. I was
Quite a bit of it
amazed.
cleaned up, and actually he was out there next day, and I think he boomed quite a bit off, but said let it dry up and get it cleaned up and put some topsoil down and
Mhm.
seed it for them, and they were happy. I mean, what are you gonna do?
Yeah. It happens. Okay, application for NYMER. NYMER is the New York Municipal Insurance Reciprocal. So our application is in. It's not something you can just say, I'm going to buy this. You have to apply for it. They go through all this paperwork that we filled out, and there's nothing on there that they feel will make it so that we're disqualified to get that insurance, and it's a lot more affordable than other insurance. Only one insurance agent per county is allowed to carry it. That's why we can't stay with Sid Spear, because he doesn't have the contract for Clinton County. They've got a contract for Franklin County for NYMER, but not this county. Northern Insurance has the contract for this county.
Is that for everything or just for certain stuff?
That's it'll be our town insurance. Yeah.
Blanket insurance.
It's just, it's specifically for municipalities, so they rate it much more reasonable. So, we would have done it last year, but we didn't have enough time to do it because, there's an application process that we had to start very early in the year. So, bid timing for the wastewater treatment plant. I put that out to you guys. Patrick feels that there's no reason to do it before the fall. And, we would probably have a better, more competitive bids in the fall because the contractors are planning for the following year. So, I think that if no one has a disagreement with that, I'll tell them that we'll bid in the fall.
I trust his judgment, so
Yeah.
he's been pretty good about it.
Yep. So, and by then, the only issue I had with wanting to do it sooner was, as things break that are going to be covered by that. But if we have to fix them now, then it's money that they can drop off at the other end. So far, they're looking at what we're going to bond out is about 1.1 million out of the 5.6 million that the project cost is. So we've gotten quite a bit of grants for it, and this will give them a little bit more time to try and get some more grants if we wait till fall.
That's a good idea, I think.
So,
Yep.
and then the beach grant decision. So basically they've come back with, if you don't leave the gates open, then you don't get the grant money. So we had talked about, we're gonna have to put a barrier up so that vehicles can't get to the dam. If we use boulders, if we, some boulders, some fencing, whatever, but, if you wanna go through that, we can. I mean, the highway guys they've got the machine now that can lift up some pretty good boulders. I know we got a bunch of big ones on our stone wall.
So what are we talking, leaving the gate open and making?
Leaving the gate
something on fire?
open, like just during the winter, we'll still close it at night, like we normally have done. But in the winter, once the snow gets to the point where we can't open and close the gate properly, then we leave the gate open all the time
Are they
until,
wanting us to plow it too, so it really has access?
yep.
Okay.
But it would just be a one road in, they turn around and come back. We're not plowing like a big parking area. Yeah, apparently that was one of the strings attached to this grant, which of course none of us were aware of because we were not the ones who applied or agreed or signed for the grant. But it's supposed to be like a state park where there's access year round. And I tried to explain about, damage to the dam. If we had that open in the wintertime, people would be taking vehicles over it and whatnot to get on the lake, and that all fell on deaf ears. So really, if we want to get the grant money, which we've already paid for it, but it's $93,000, if we want to get the grant money from them, we'd have to have the gate open. We have to have year-round access. So I mean,
She hasn't coughed, and she hasn't coughed all week.
Cap, what are you doing?
So we can, and we can actually close it during the winter too, if it's, if the gate is usable, but, once it starts to snow, if there's a bank up against it,
Yeah.
just leave it open and just deny access to the actual lake with vehicles. Cause that's my main concern is that, somebody's gonna take their truck over over that or skid something over it or whatnot and break up the concrete on the dam, because we have enough damage, chunks and stuff out of it that we have to fix this year where, and they said, and I wrote many emails to them saying, this is what we're afraid of, this and that. Well, do you have proof that there's damage to the dam because people go over it? Well, no, but common sense says that if you go over it with something and it's concrete and it's in the middle of the winter and it's, cold, you're going to break pieces of the dam off. So, but they didn't care about that.
What about plowing this, Deb? You plow it to the gate?
No, I just go in and turn around and come back out. Because the gate will be open.
Right.
So, I don't know if the plow, I have to do it with the truck.
Who's going, down the road, who's gonna come and check and verify that it's...
Well, she had somebody come and check. She came and saw the gate was closed. She came in November, the gate was closed. And then that's when she started, the gate wasn't open. Well, no, we don't keep it open during the winter. Well, you have to have it open. You have to have it year-round access. And I said, they can access it, they can walk in, they can, side-by-sides, snowmobiles, everything can get in there, just not big vehicles that are going to damage, things.
Well, I think the stones and big stones and fencing is good, but I think signage is also good, saying that no pedestrian traffic or vehicles beyond this point.
Mm-hmm.
So in case someone does decide to go do that, then you have legal ramifications to bring them to court.
Well, and plus, we're concerned about if people go in there to fish, we don't want them fishing where the kids swim, because now you got hooks stuck to the bottom of the, and get caught on a rock, and now there's hooks where kids are swimming. So, so I haven't answered her back, but if you want to go ahead and see if they'll accept that. They'll accept it if I say the gate's going to be open. Then it's just going to be on us to have to. But I'm going to tell her this is not going to happen this winter, because we are going to have to do stuff all summer long to block people from getting to the dam.
Yeah.
So, it's going to
Yeah,
take.
and as time goes on, people forget about it,
Well,
Yeah,
right?
so,
And then
anyway.
if I have to, well, listen, another secondary is you just move that gate back a little bit further too, so. And we can just plow to the gate.
Yeah. okay.
Well, you know, I gave them so many different propositions. I mean, I said, we'll move the gate up and make a parking area right inside, you know, there, so that people can park inside the park, but not up. No, that wasn't good enough.
which is stupid, it's not like you gotta walk 10 miles, it's right there.
Well, and really the only people that are gonna go in there are ice fishermen.
Yeah.
You
In the
know,
winter
people
time.
playing there.
If it's all plowed out, they will go in there and on the lawns and all over the place.
Yeah, well, it's not gonna be all plowed out. That's what I say. We're gonna be on the road and that's it.
Well, that's the thing though, it don't matter, if somebody comes through, they're gonna plow it anyways.
Yeah, somebody like they did that last year where somebody went in there and plowed before we had the gate shut.
They had one off Wilford King on the end of the pump station, buried off the end of the stones. They were trying to get out on the lake there.
Yeah.
Over that derby, that, you know.
Mm-hmm. He was right in that ditch.
Oh, yeah, he put it in a bad spot.
Put
Big
it-
stones,
yeah,
no idea.
He could have picked 5 feet that way, 5 feet that way, but
Well, you know, the other thing, if we do have a bad winter, to the winter we used to have, and you plow the banks, once they freeze up, that's gonna be a deterrent for them. It's almost like it'd be a snow fence for us. Yeah, get over that 5 foot bank if you want.
and be careful what is under that bank, you know. If the snow drifts up over those rocks and someone thinks they're gonna drive through there.
Okay.
All right, so I'll do that. I'll get back with them but they know I'm not very pleased. So, let's see, I do have an other. What is it? What is my other? Elections. It's election time again. The primary election is April 2nd. So they'll be delivering the machine and the ballots and all that stuff here on the March 28th in the afternoon. It's a Thursday afternoon. And pick it up the following Thursday. So we have the primary on April 2nd. State and local primary elections on the June 25th. I don't know if we'll be involved in there if there's any state primaries. And then, of course, general elections November 5th.
Everything's the same for up to the firehouse, who I got the letter the other day.
So April 2nd is the first primary election. And districts 1 and 3, of course, are in here. District 2 is in Lime Mountain. That was my other. Anybody have any other new business?
Nope.
Okay. Committee reports. See, we had our Comp Alliance inspection. It went very well, no write-ups. So that was wonderful. Sprinkler test. We had that also this month. And that went well as too, except they came on Wednesday, and I've told the company, do not schedule us on Wednesdays again, because they're always messing with it when the generator kicks on, and then it causes a whole bunch of problems. It kicks that breaker off that's in the fire room, so they couldn't figure out what to do. And I thought I knew, but I wanted to make sure, so I called Butch, and Butch said, yeah, you remember that breaker that goes, and so I brought the guy back with me, because, well, he said, oh, I can go do that. He went out there, and then he came back and said, oh, I'm not touching that, because he was looking at the fire panel, not the breaker box. So I went stomping out there, and he came with me, and he's like, so I go by the fire panel, and I go to the breaker box, and he goes, oh, there's a breaker box in here.
Oh, yeah.
I told you, breaker box. So, anyway, it was,
So that was the issue with it, yeah?
that was the only issue. Yeah. So, I reset the breaker, and, in 10 minutes, once it cooled off, it shut off, so.
Ran for 2.5 hours.
So,
Got any update on that bridge up in Lime Mountain? When they're gonna do that?
Carl had said they had it planned for this year, but I think there's other bridges that now he's they're finding bridges that actually have to be replaced. They've been tagged, so I think he's gonna be kicking this one down, because he was like, when I talked to him about it, because I called him and told him, you can't use Sunset as a detour for all traffic. I said, because those big sand trucks that come to get sand are not gonna make it around Sunset without causing some damage to either the trucks or to the road or whatever. And he's like, well, it's only gonna take a couple days. He said, we pull one out and put the other one in. And I says, oh, no, we have water lines running under that bridge. That was the whole big issue, why it was taking so long to get it all engineered, because the water lines run under it. And he's like, oh, I'm gonna have to go back and look at that. So I think he was planning it for this year, because he thought it was as easy as pulling the old one out, putting the new one in, and be done in a day or two. So, I don't know when it's gonna happen, but I don't think it's gonna happen this year, because, like I said, they've got a couple bridges now that are red tagged that they need to actually take care of. So, that one's been, other than the fact it's not wide enough, I mean, that one's still holding up, so.
Not a lot of traffic either.
Let's see, our 2023 books are closed. Leslie finished used to be called a UMD, now it's called an AFR. And it's a whole different program that we had to go through this year to put in to close out the books to the state. But it actually seems to be a little bit easier, so hallelujah on that. And just to let you know, the final bond payment for the Line Mountain Water District will be paid March 7th. So we'll have the Line Mountain Water District without a bond, finally,
For now.
for now. And the one other thing, Text My Gov, just try to get the word out, have people go on the website and look on how to sign up for it. Just want to say that if you sign up for the All-Town, Dannemora All-Town, that is only going to be used for things that affect the whole town. Like today I put out that the meeting was moved up to 4 o'clock. If there's something to do with the water districts or sewer districts, they have their own text, so that only those people would get that text. Like I put out something when the water main broke, I put that out, but there are only like 4 people signed up for it in Line Mountain for the Line Mountain Water District. But the text went out as soon as it broke, so 4 people knew immediately. So if you can get the word out that it's, you might not ever get a text, but if something happens where you need to know it immediately, that's going to be your way to do it. The instructions are on the Facebook page and the web page, and there's also some flyers on the desk back there giving you instructions on how to do it. So
Can I change my choices?
Sure.
I just chose All Town, and I felt out of the loop, so.
well, All-Town, yeah. I mean, you
Can
can
I go back in and say?
you can keep that one and just add. I mean, you can add all of them if you want.
Yeah, okay.
On my window, there's a little paper that has instructions.
I'll just go, I'll figure it out. Thanks.
That's it for me. Jim,
Nothing to say.
Jason,
I'm good.
Joey.
Good.
Okay.
Waiting for a meeting.
Mark.
I'm gonna have to keep an eye on Sunset End Road. There's a logging company down there right now, and they're logging off all that wood that's not maple,
Mm-hmm.
just before Boomhauer. Weather stays like this, I gotta keep an eye on our road, make sure the tractor trailers aren't tearing it off.
Yeah.
If they are, I'm gonna close the road.
Get some pictures.
I think they're pulling out of there.
Yeah,
Stop deals up there.
yeah.
Yeah.
So they won't be hauling anything out of there right now, man.
Well, the landowner doesn't want them in there tearing up the ground. The guy's got the maple syrup,
Yeah,
he's getting them.
oh, okay.
But
And we didn't have any frost line this year.
None.
now you can break the
Not
wall
there.
up. Cause it's down there, put options up there.
Yeah,
You have to watch it.
I'll keep an eye on it. If it gets tore up, I'll close the road.
Yeah.
That's it.
Well, and you might want to put a weight limit on that road now, so just in case all of a sudden county decides that they are gonna work on that bridge, because we don't want those sand trucks going on that road. That'll really destroy them. So,
Who does certification on a weight limit?
well, he can post anything that he wants on there at any time. So,
Twin ponds or your weakest point with that culvert. Not much fill on that culvert.
No, probably. We'll keep an eye on that, see what happens.
Anybody have anything?
How goes the search for the confidential secretary?
We had one person that submitted an application. I got it today. Not really a good match. I talked to ETS today on how that works. I've never gone to an employment agency. They have, and just like I guess all the employment agencies are the same way. There's two ways to do it. You can either pay them, and here's how I explain it. He goes, okay, so say you're paying the person $20 an hour, we'll charge you $30, and this is the short-term one, but they take care of all of the everything else. You don't have all the payroll charges that you pay on your normal, because you're not paying them. They're a contractor basically, and then after 4 months, if you want to hire them, then you can flip it to, you can hire them. Or it can be a straight hire, and what they charge you is 17 to 22% of what the annual rate of pay for that position would be. They would charge you 17 to 22% to find that person and for you, and they have a 90-day guarantee. If the person quits or they don't fit or whatnot, they'll do a replacement.
We had a contract with Dave Coyer, 18%. So if they placed the person, then there was an 18% fee that went back to them for a placement fee. So I'd lock in a rate. I wouldn't give them a range.
Well, that was something, I don't know, hopefully we get a couple more applicants. But we've just gotten the one, and that came today. And the person's really not a good fit, but. So, if you know of anyone who, the biggest thing is, it's a confidential secretary position. Obviously, they need to keep things confidential that goes on in the office. Plus somebody who has accounting experience and knows their way around a computer very well. Very well. So,
What's the salary range?
well, we would start at 17, and then once they show that, once probationary period is over, depending on how good they are, if somebody comes in and right off that they can handle it all, then we can jump from there easily. But to start with, Leslie will be training them, so we'll be paying 2 people. But, at the end, it would be up to, right now Leslie gets 35. Of course, she's been with the town for 7-8 years, so, and eventually that would probably be their annual pay.
And it's a 4-day-week job?
And hours are negotiable, time in the office is negotiable. A lot of this stuff, there are certain things that Leslie does that can be done from home as long as she has a computer. So a lot of it is negotiable. So. Anything else? All right, well, I move to enter executive session.
I'll second it.
Hey guys, we'll see you
Hi.
later.